911. Where is the emergency?
I am beat up.
My most memorable call is of a young male that called, probably 20 or 30 years old. He was difficult to understand at first. I had tried to ask him where his emergency was. He didn't know where he was.
I got thrown underneath the stairs at this person's house. I don't know if he's left after, but I can't move, and he has me trapped underneath here.
He has you trapped underneath there?
Yeah, I'm bleeding all over.
You're bleeding all over? How long have you been there for?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to get us over to the fire department, okay?
10 minutes.
I'm sorry? Hello?
He said that he was being held against his will. It was difficult to understand him because I found out later through the duty report that they had broken his jaw.
Hello?
I can't talk.
Okay.
He started to panic a little bit, and he was basically saying he just needed people to get there because if they heard him talking on the phone, they would kill him.
I just
How many other people are in there? Hello?
I can't talk.
Okay.
So I entered a call-in for an unknown trouble, priority 1.
Did he have any weapons?
He has a couple guns.
How long have you been there?
For a couple of days.
Probably the most important question was, do you remember anything about that would stick out to an aircraft? Because they called the aircraft up to come look for him.
And outside, there's a white BMW and a white Infiniti.
I'm adding all this information to the call. His phone was dying, which he had let me know ahead of time. He said that the guy was coming back. He said he's coming, and he needed to go. So I said, well, don't hang up the phone. Just leave it open. If you hang it up, I can't call him back.
I don't have a phone. I don't have a phone. I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God, I left upstairs.
There was 2 females also there. I had asked him in our questioning, who else is there with you guys? And he said there was 2 girls there.
How many other people are inside right now?
There's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 other people.
So it's the one, 2 girls and the one guy?
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of weapons he has?
I hear them knocking on the door. The girls knocking on the door.
Okay.
When the officers came on scene, the females went outside, the officers set up, and they went to clear the house. And they came out and said, code 4, the house is clear. So I was kind of like, what do they mean the house is clear? Like, it's weird. So my boss that was listening at the time, she hops up and is like, he's in there somewhere. Like, we could hear him. When they gave the code 4, the house is clear, my heart sunk. I felt sick. I was like, what did you mean? Like, I was so confused because we knew what I was hearing. Somehow they orchestrated to go back through and do a secondary or maybe even a third search of the house, and then one of the officers, I guess, had seen the closet door behind the refrigerator. So yeah, we knew he was in there, and they had to go back in and take a second or third look until he was saved. I think this incident says about communications that we don't just rely on technology, number one. I mean, it definitely is a great tool to help us. But I do also think trusting yourself and, knowing even if I was wrong, you know, or even if it was a big nothing, I felt like I trust myself enough to know what I'm hearing and to make the decisions that I need to make, you know, for my job and for someone else.